Okay, hi YouTube. I thought I'd give uploading a video a bit of a go. This is going to be my first video, so please be gentle. No nasty comments. I've got no editing equipment, so it's just basically straight off the camera. Okay, my children managed to do it, so if they can do it, I'm pretty sure I can. So, anyway, the video that I've proposed to throw up to you today is basically just on a little bit of equipment which I've picked up along the way and I've used on various occasions. I mean, some of it is, dates back to military days and things like that. And obviously there is, more modern type equipment these days. Like this is the little Bushcraft mini essential stove, which is an excellent little stove. You can run it on your SBIT tablets. These are the small SBIT tablets. There's 20 in there and they're 4 grams each, so they're only tiny. See, and you can get a cup of water up to a reasonable drinking temperature. It certainly won't bring it to a boil off one tablet, but it will bring it up to some sort of a decent drinking temperature. Okay. Now, for years in the past, we've used military equipment, and one of them in particular was the Hexi stove. Now, this is a Hexi stove for those of you that haven't seen them before. They simply come in a packet like this, and they've got little wax paraffin blocks on the inside of them. They're normally in a wax packet themselves, and if anybody's been issued them straight out of the stores, they'll know that they stink. They really do stink. If you put them in your Bergen, you'll know about it. Okay, but nevertheless they work, and they've worked quite well for years, and I was issued to the army. And the idea was that one tablet, which is a Hexi tablet like this one, would burn for approximately 4 minutes, and in that 4 minutes that would bring your mess meal up to a decent temperature so that you could eat your ball in the bag, and you could also use the water then to make a brew with. Okay, but in recent days obviously things have changed, as well as you've got different multi-fuel stoves that you can get and different gas stoves that you can get. It's always nice to kind of pop back to some of the older stuff sometimes and see if it's been improved upon. So somebody has tried to improve upon it with these. See, that's in focus. Fire Dragon green and clean solid fuel. Okay, it even says on the box this box can be burnt, so they're trying to do everything they can really to help the environment a little bit. Now, these are a different type of fuel, but they have said or stated that they can be the replacement for the original Hexi blocks. Those ones. Okay. Now there's 6 in a box here, and I think this cost about £1.99, so it's not that bad. It doesn't break the bank. So we'll have a quick look. We'll try them out. Okay. Now I tried one out last night. They burned for roughly about 3 minutes 52 seconds. Thereabouts. Okay, so it's not quite the 4-minute mark. Right. However, they burn very, very, very fiercely, and they start from a spark. Okay, so if you've only got a ferrocerium rod as your means of ignition, then they'll do the trick. Now also, the ferrocerium rod which I'm going to be using today is this one, which is the UST Strikeforce. Now I've got loads of ferrocerium rods. Everybody probably has. Okay, I YouTube this one the same as you YouTube most equipment, and I thought, you know what, that looks pretty cool. Looks quite big, but it looks pretty cool. Now my purpose for having this one is that this can go into my PFD, personal flotation device, that I use when I do canoe expeditions. The reason that I like it is that you've got a little compartment on the end of it, and you can fit a wet fire tinder in there in the packet. Now you will only get just one wet fire tinder in there. Now that's your wet fire. Okay, for those of you that don't know, it's just a tiny little block on the inside of there. They advertise these floating on water while lit, while aflame. So they are pretty good stuff, and they do start with a spark. You need to fluff them up a little bit. Now you can get one of those into the end of there, but you need to pop. I've found anyway that I needed to pop the packet just to let that little bit of air out of it, so that it fit in there perfectly. Otherwise, you tend to find that the top of this thing just kept popping off, which is no good. Okay, so pop the packet, you can squeeze one in there, that'll go in my PFD. If ever I fall in the water and lose all my equipment and my canoe, hopefully I'll still have that on me and I can get a fire going and get myself warmed up so I don't catch hypothermia. Okay, right, back to the plot then. These, the fire dragons. This is one of them. Okay, it's a little plastic tub with a foil lid on the top of it, and inside you've got what looks like a goo. Okay, now as I said, I've already lit one of these last night, and it is actually a hard goo. It's not like a soft goo, it's quite a hard gooey type stuff. However, they do also smell. They smell very, very strongly of an accelerant, which it's actually smell more than what the Hexis do. Not as much as what the packet that Hexis come in smell of, but you know, anybody that's been in the army will kind of know what I mean. Right, it says do not eat, highly flammable, and the idea is that you peel the top off and then you empty the contents into your Hexi stove and then you light it. Okay, so we'll do that now. Incidentally, the Strikeforce ferrocerium rod, which I'm about to use, is excellent. It's right what people say on YouTube about them. They do send off a very large share of sparks, and you know, it is an excellent bit of equipment, I must admit. Okay, that one I think I got for about 19 quid. So I don't know if that's in focus or not, but that's your goo on the inside. Empty it into your Hexi stove. As I said, these will light with a spark. Now that's lit straight away, and as you can see, it's already starting to build up quite a lot of intense flame, intense heat. Now, when I was trying this out last night, I got a pot of water, and obviously I put a pot of water on there just to see how it boiled. And what I did find was that because the flames are that intense, they licked up around the side of the mess tin, hence creating quite a large curtain of flames that you've got to fight through to get your tin back. Okay, so personally, I think they're probably a little bit too much to replace the existing Hexi. It does burn down into a gel, and that gel will and has already seeped through the bottom of your stove. So immediately, as everybody should be aware, you wouldn't use these indoors. You certainly wouldn't use them inside a tent. You definitely have to be in a well ventilated area and ensure that the ground that the stove is nestled on is a nice firm ground and preferably non-flammable. Okay. But even though it's fierce and very, 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 very hot, so it's kind of an intense heat as opposed to your normal temperatures that you tend to get from Hexi blocks, it also burns out very, very quickly. So personally, I don't think I'd be using them in any type of Hexi stove. They may be good for big bush boxes, you know, that Bushcraft Essentials make, and various other makes are available these days, the ones that clip together. Basically a larger version of the stove that I showed you earlier. In there, I think they'd be fine. For Hexis, definitely not. They're a little bit too fierce. Another good use for them would obviously be as a fire starter itself. So if you're in the woods, on a matting, in the forest, you want a quick fire, it's quite damp, throw one of them down, spark it, throw your tinder on there, bit of kindling, and you'll be away. But just in the length of this video, as you can see, that's already burnt out. So again, it's a personal choice or personal preference whether you would use it or not. Me personally, I don't think I would, not for a Hexi stove. Like I say, I will throw the rest of the remains of the box now into my kit, into various bags that I've got, mountain bags, forest bags, etc, etc, and they'll remain there then for usage, just for fire making, really. Alright, but I thought that I'll share that one with you, and like I say, this is my first video, so be gentle, and hopefully I'll see you soon.